time. Welcome everyone who is watching me live. And if you're not watching it live, welcome in the recordings. Today I have a very special topic for you. I want to talk about the energetics, about being an embodied goddess and a hustling princess. So if this is something that you're interested in, then definitely keep on watching. So I just had to speak about it, it's been a bit and I wanted to like a lot of people have been questioning what's the difference between an embodied goddess and a hustling princess, and I just wanted to clarify that. And also because I love talking about this topic. So, what is an embodied goddess and how is it different from a hustling princess? Under the different levels of consciousness which I talk about, there is the hustling princess and an embodied goddess. This is two different levels of consciousness through which you can show up in your life. It's just not about business, it's about so many more things, right? It's not just about how you operate your business, but it's also about how you show up in your work, in your relationships, how you show up for your health. So it's not just one thing, because consciousness level or awareness level not only affects one if your area of your life, right? Because it operates here. So it has a ripple effect in all aspects of your life. So how does a hustling princess think? A hustling princess is a woman who is in her masculine on energy. Does this mean that it's wrong to be in a masculine energy? Definitely not. You need to be in a masculine energy, especially when you're operating a business. But do you think it will serve you if you are constantly in your masculine energy and you're disregarding your feminine essence, when you're disregarding your feminine being? When you are always in the hustle mode, when you're disregarding your feminine essence being, you are telling yourself that, you know what, I need to work extra hard to make things happen. You know what, I need to constantly grind. You know what, I need to constantly struggle to make things happen in my life. Do you think hi, Juice Walton. Sorry, I'll get back to the comments once I'm done speaking about what I intend to. So I'm talking about the hustling energy and the embodied goddess energy, right? It's a level of consciousness through which we operate. It's the level of consciousness through which we show up, and this allows you to operate from a place of flow and a place of fun, and it also allows you to operate from a place of hustle and grind if that's what you roll with, if that's what you want. So, having said that, how does your life look like when you are operating from a place of hustle? So, for instance, you want to start a business. What do you do? There, like, you go from doing nothing to like going all in, right? It's like, from tomorrow I'm going to start my business, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m., I'm going to work on my business for 15 hours a day, I'm going to go all in. And think of it in the long term, what will happen to this person 1 week down the line, 2 weeks down the line, 1 month down the line? He will become miserable, she will be miserable. Why is that? Because yeah, I'm definitely reading the comments, but and yeah, I'll definitely respond to that after I like explain those two different energetics. And what if you have too many bad people around you? So, like I said, it's all in the mindset, right? We are focusing our energy from the external to the internal, because the hustling princess is a much more better stage to be in, because She is in control of her life at least. She does not blame the world. She does not tell others that they are responsible for my life. She does not tell someone else that they are responsible for whatever has happened in her life. She accepts that whatever has happened in her life has happened, but she takes full charge, full control, full accountability of her life. She knows that this is a part of life. She accepts that whatever has happened to her or whoever has wronged her in her life, it was all for a reason. There was all a reason behind it. She has forgiven them. There is no resentment around it. Does this mean that she does not have boundaries and she will be a people pleaser and allow anyone or everyone to come into her life and take advantage of her kindness? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm talking about. But in order to be expansive, in order to be in this level of awareness or consciousness from which you want to thrive, from which you want to grow, from you which you want to expand and be that version of yourself who you're truly meant to be, first and foremost, you need to let go of whatever the outside world tells you, whatever the stories are playing out in your external reality. We have a blinder to that because we are going within. We are focusing on our own awareness level. We are focusing on our own consciousness level. And from this level, you will rectify whatever you need to rectify. From this level, you will do the inner work to make you the goddess that you are. Because imagine this, how many times have you had a to do list? How many times have you had the same picture in your vision board? And there are people around you telling you that in YouTube telling you that, see, I have manifested this in my life. See, I have manifested that in my life. And you ask yourself, you question yourself, why is not anything moving in my life? Why is not anything shifting in my life? Because you need to shift internally first for the external to shift. If you constantly buy to those stories of believing that, you know what, everything happens to me, this person says this to me, this person thinks this about me, I have a bad boss, I have a bad family, like I am always pressurized, why is the world so bad? If you look at the world with that lens, if you are looking at the world with that level of awareness and consciousness, that's exactly what you will find in the external. However, however, if you shift your focus, if you look at the world from a lens of, I am powerful, I am in charge of my life, I am in control of my life, I get to decide what I want to do with my life. This is the kind of energy you need to be in. Whether it's a hustling princess or an embodied goddess, you need to stop being the victim. Because what has it got you? What has it got you by being the victim? Tell me. Because I have been a victim for a very long time, where I blamed the external circumstances for my situation, where I blamed a lot of people in my life and thought that, you know what? Bad things happen to me. Why do bad things happen to good people? Have you heard that? Yeah. So you need to first be accountable, take control of your life, take your power back, and tell yourself, you know what? I am taking my power back. You know what? If I want, I can. And if I make a mind to do something, I will. And what I'm going to talk about today is beyond that level, where you stop being the victim, where you stop criticizing, where you stop blaming, where you stop judging, where you stop shaming. And you're like, I am the, like I am in the driver's seat. I don't want to be in the passenger seat. I take full control of my life. And from here, we roll, right? So you need to be in that headspace first. Because a hustling princess is already in this headspace. She's already showing up for herself. She's already taking action. She's already immersed in building her dream life. The only flaw that a hustling princess has is that she's hustling. She's always grinding. She is always thinking that she needs to work hard. You need to work hard. Remember those girls in school? I was one of those girls where you'd work extra hard to get good grades, where you'd work extra hard to, please your parents, where you'd work extra hard to maintain that image. That is the hustling princess. Does that mean that she was a bad girl? No. Does that mean that she was doing something wrong? No. She was a people pleaser. She did those things. Maybe a part of her wanted to feel worthy. Maybe a part of her wanted to get that validation, that approval from her parents, from her loved ones, from everyone and anyone around her, right? But then that little girl grew up. But then that little girl got married. But then she had a career, she had kids, she had family, she got married. And now, what is that little girl doing? She is focusing on pleasing her boss. She is focusing on pleasing her husband, her kids. She is focusing on pleasing someone else. She has grown up in the physical, but emotionally, she's still that little girl who is trying to please everyone and everyone around her, not knowing that how it is burning her down slowly. So this is why being a hustling princess will not serve you in the long term, because she has the best intent, she has the best plan, she wants to do the best things in the world, but then she is burning out because she is doing it for the validation. She thinks that in order to get anything or everything in life, I need to work hard. And a part of this also comes from our programming as a little kid, when our parents told us that in order to be successful, you need to work hard. In order to do something great in life, you have to sacrifice. And as a hustling princess, she does that. She sacrifices herself. She sacrifices her peace. She sacrifices the feminine and flowy and fun things which she once loved to do. It may be going out for a walk. It may be painting. It may be journaling. It may be doing something which puts you in the flow. But because a hustling princess is constantly in this energy of grinding, she is in her masculine energy and it's constricting her. And now is the time for her to realize that, you know what? It gets to be easy. You know what? It gets to be fun. You know what? I can be successful, but from a place of love and flow. I don't need to hustle. And you know what? When does this happen? It happens when she makes the decision that this is it. I'm not going to be that girl who will sacrifice herself for the world. I'm not going to be the woman who needs to constantly people please someone else. When the hustling princess decides that she is going to take charge of her life and do everything from an internal guidance, when she lets go of control and when she surrenders to her inner knowingness, when she surrenders to the divinity within, when she lets go of surrender, when she lets go and surrenders, this is when she becomes the embodied goddess. Does this mean that she will stop taking action? Does this mean that she will go for morning walks, she'll go for morning coffees and stop taking action and not focus on her business or whatever she's trying to build? Does this mean that she's going to just be fun and play and no action? No. That is something that she will still need to take to the next level. But in this level, she is operating from a place of flow. She's not looking at 10,000 videos online so that she can understand what she's supposed to do. She's not reading 1 million books to understand how she needs to live her life. She's going within and asking herself how she wants to do it. And when she goes within, when she surrenders, she is connected to the divine. When she goes within, when she surrenders, she gets that downloads. And when she gets that downloads, when she gets that response, when she gets that answers from the divine, she takes actions on that. She does not question the how. She knows that the how is going to work out itself. She just needs to be in that energy and do things from a place of surrender where she knows that everything is going to work out in her favor. When she knows that whatever she is going to do is going to work out in her favor. And when she becomes this potent portal of energy, when she surrenders to the divine and when she allows herself to receive the guidance, receive the information, receive the nudgings, and opens herself up to the divine, opens herself up to her feminine essence, opens herself up to her inner goddess, that is when everything changes for her. This is the level of consciousness through which every one of us should be living, because we are like made to believe that life is hard. We are made to believe that it gets to be difficult, that you need to work extra hard. But when you do the same things from a place of flow, when you do the same things from a place of surrender, when you do the same things from a place of love, what happens? Everything becomes effortless, everything becomes fun. And the resistance that you're facing in your life, not wanting to do the things that you want to do, and the to do list that is in your wall, and you have never implemented those things, right? What happens? When you get into your flow state, you get that nudgings, you follow those guidance that you get. And because you are tapped in, tuned in with your divine self, everything becomes playful, everything becomes fun, everything becomes expansive, because you have an open heart, you are willing to receive. And you know what? The divine is always talking to us. Your higher self is always talking to us. The inner work that we do to reach in this level of consciousness, the inner work that we need to do to become that embodied goddess or God within, is just to hear what the divine has to say to us. Because the divine is always speaking. We just need to find a way to hear it. And how can we hear it? We can hear it when we surrender. We can hear it when we let go of control. We can hear it when we are in the flow. We can hear it when we are in play. And this is exactly why inner work is important. Inner work happens in layers. So if you are in a mindset of victimizing yourself, thinking that everything around me is not working out, people are bad, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable. If you're like constantly blaming circumstances outside you, then it will never shift. First of all, you need to make that decision with yourself that you know what? Enough is enough. I am going to take control over my life. I am going to surrender to the flow of things. I am going to work on myself from a lens that I am in control. I take my power back. When you stop focusing on the external circumstances, when you stop focusing on whatever is happening in the external world, when you take that power back, you become expansive. Your energy, if it was this big, when you were like like leaking it by blaming someone else, you become this big, you become expansive, you become massive. And that's exactly what we are after: becoming expansive, letting go of things that's blocking us. Because Thinking that we are blocked is also an illusion. Thinking that we can't manifest whatever we want in our life because of all these external things that's happening, that's also an illusion. So I hope this episode of Creating Inner Abundance was fun. Thank you so much for your love in your comments. And yeah, let's stop being the victim. Let's take control over our life, and let's fully immerse ourselves in embodying that energy in us. And if you have not joined the Abundance Queen community yet, definitely join us. The link is in my bio. There is a amazing, ambitious women who are working on their health goals, on their relationship goals, on their business goals, and the community is so supportive. So definitely join the Abundance Queen community. And come on, if you have not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Because we are this is a place for growth, for expansion, and you know what, we are always evolving, and there is so much more to do. There is so much more to grow when you are in your inner work journey. And having someone with you in this journey definitely gives you an edge, because we can absolutely have it all. Until next time, peace, much love, and please keep on creating your inner abundance. Bye.